You have started your career as a
Right.
salesperson.
Initially, when I came here, I had no plans to go in real estate.
What are the main pros and cons of a career in a real estate?
You can make lot of money. There is unlimited earning opportunity.
Is real estate a good career choice for someone from overseas?
Everyone back home, they are coming with some kind of dreams in their eyes, right? And mostly their dreams, they end up with money only.
Is it possible for newcomers to get mortgage through banks?
You do not have to have the real estate background in any of your studies. You can literally start from the scratch.
What should newcomers consider before buying a house?
Do not get that excited about buying a house.
Financially, how costly it is to get license like a realtor license?
It's gonna cost you somewhere around $100. If you want to be a real estate agent, you can become even before you get your permanent residency.
What are the benefits of hiring a realtor?
Do you have your PR?
Is Sudbury's real estate market in a bubble right now?
Literally within like 8 years of my stay in Canada, in Sudbury specifically, I have seen so much of a growth in real estate.
What are the three things you should absolutely not do while buying the first house? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. You are listening to CKLU 96.7, your station. My name is Arjun. The show is called Beyond the Borders with Arjun Season 1, Episode 21. Alright, you are listening to us on 96.7 CKLU.ca and of course Radio Player Canada app. Thank you so much for listening to us right here, right now. Well, today I have none other than a very inspiring real estate agent, I would say, a trusted advisor and a successful investor, as well as an inspiring example of resilience in a new country as an immigrant. I'm talking about none other than Savya Swadia. Savya Swadia's journey from Gujarat, India to Sudbury, Canada is one of the resilience, perseverance, and determination. Arriving in Canada as an international student in 2016, Savya completed program in project and organizational management at Cambrian College while working multiple jobs and studying for his real estate license. By 2021, he became the second South Asian realtors in Sudbury, overcoming numerous challenges to establish himself as a respected real estate professional. Since then, Savya has helped over 100 families and investors find homes across Northern Ontario, bringing his personal experience and dedication to every client. As a registered realtor with both the Ontario and Canadian Real Estate Association and an investor himself, he understands the journey newcomers face in finding a home and building a future. His journey is a testament to what can be achieved through hard work, dedication, and commitment to building a better life in a new country. He is an inspiring example for aspiring immigrants, students, and anyone looking to make their mark in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Savya Swadia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Arjun bhai. Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Jai Shri Krishna to everyone, to all the listeners from Savya Swadia.
Wow. So you are from Gujarat. How do you greet in Gujarat, in particular Gujarati language? If you have to say like greet somebody else or thank you or anything you want
Right.
to teach
So
us.
honestly, like specifically in Gujarat, when we meet each other, most of the time we call Jai Shri Krishna. This is like this is the like the name of the god. Like we like we would like to take God's name before starting any conversation. Even if we are living from somebody's house, we're gonna tell them Aujo. That means gonna see you again. So there are so many other ways we greet each other, but mainly we call Jai Shri Krishna and Aujo.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. That's the
Let's-
name of God, Krishna.
All right. Let's begin our conversation. All right. You are from Gujarat, India, and now you are in Sudbury. You came in 2016. So why did you choose to come in Canada, and why did you choose Sudbury as your home in Canada? I want to begin from there.
Sure. So basically, after completing my engineering in electronics and communication back home in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, I was looking for some kind of work experience back home, but unfortunately, engineering had not that kind of a value which used to be before when I completed my engineering. So I decided to go for my further studies. Initially, I decided to go to USA, Australia, or Canada. Like I was open to all the options, but specifically Canada, because Canada was multicultural since the beginning. Canada was the only welcoming country at that time when I chose to come to Canada. At that time, I applied for my project management. I wanted to get some kind of an exposure in managerial studies because later on I wanted to tackle my father's business. So in from beginning, I wanted to go to managerial studies. So Cambrian College was the only one which provided me the admission because I was not so doing well with my grades in engineering. So that's why I had to come to Canada. But for now, thank God that I came to Canada because Canada is like welcoming country, and this country has given me so much I could
No
ask
doubt,
for.
no
So
doubt. But then, in the initial years, initial phases, I'm sure you have faced lots many challenges. If you have to remember any of the challenges that you faced when you first arrived in Canada, if you have to remember some.
sure. For the challenges specifically, it came because of the Sudbury. When I was telling everybody that I am coming to Canada, some of my friends were here, so I was telling them that I'm coming to Sudbury, and they were living in Toronto. So as soon as they heard name Sudbury, they were like, "Oh, why are you going to that village?" So Sudbury had that kind of impression in the people who were living in metro cities that
Okay.
Sudbury did not have that kind of infrastructure, or Sudbury they did not have enough job opportunities at the time. Initially, when I was listening this kind of perspective from different people who were already in Canada, I was like, okay, did I made a good choice by choosing Sudbury as my further study place? So that was the challenge since beginning. But after I came to Sudbury, it was pretty fluent. Like yeah, language barrier was there obviously because throughout my studies back home, I was studying in Gujarat board, so which is called GSEB. So throughout the GSEB studies, I studied in Gujarati, and after coming to Canada, directly I had to study in English. So that was a little bit of challenging phase for myself. But like yes, I'm sitting in front of you. You can see me, whatever I am.
Now you are a registered or let's say licensed realtor, real estate agent. But before that, you have started your career as
Right.
a salesperson.
Correct.
How do
Correct.
you remember that phase?
I came here. I came here in almost like a fall time, right? So at that time, when the winter hits, there are so many jobs which shuts down. So you don't get that many opportunities. You don't get that many hours when you start working. So I had no job initially when I came here. I had no job. I was literally jobless for almost like 2 months.
Oh my God.
And but yeah, I like to play cricket. Okay, so I used to go out and play cricket with my friends here in Sudbury. So there was a guy named Rangjot Singh Madan. He was here before at the show as well. So he used to work at the gas station and he used to manage that location. So by chance he was also playing cricket and we met at the cricket field, and I play cricket very well. I'm not boasting, but I play cricket very well. So Rangjot, he asked one of my friends that what's his name, what he's doing, and my friend told him that, do you have any job opportunities at your gas station? Because like Savya is looking for the job, and Rangjot, he referred me to his owner, to the gas station's owner, and then after we had an interview and I got hired. So that's how my journey started with Shell. I
All
worked
right.
at Shell for almost like 5 years.
5 years. If you
Yes.
have to sum up in a sentence, how was the experience working at a gas station?
Honestly, money wise, it was not very well paid. Obviously it's a minimum wage paid job, right? Doesn't matter what gas station you go for. But our employer was awesome. Like he was a great guy. He recently just sold all his gas station. He used to own 9 gas stations here in Sudbury, and North Bay and Susan Mary as well. But to summing up my working experience at Shell, I would say like honestly, because I'm sitting here because of my that job, not because of money wise, but for the exposure, because that job has given me so much of a confidence while talking to different people from different sectors. Because as I said, language barrier was always there, but while working at the gas station, you work at the front door and you greet so many people in a single day in your 8 hour shift. So I mean, that job has taught me a lot.
It's okay. Now you are a registered realtor with both Ontario and Canadian Real Estate Association. What inspired you to pursue a career in a real estate?
Sure. Initially, when I came here, I had no plans to go in real estate. To be honest, Arjun bhai. So, but my family background back home, like my father, he has its own land development company. I used to see him doing real estate since beginning, but then after, as I said, I completed my engineering. But after coming here, I wanted to go into some kind of managerial studies. But after completing managerial studies, I figured like I could see that real estate had lot much of a potential, because like specifically cities like Sudbury, they were growing too fast. Like literally within like 8 years of my stay in Canada, in Sudbury specifically, I have seen so much of a growth in real estate. So at that time, I was like, okay, well, I need like extra money. I not extra money, I should be saying, but I wanted to achieve something at that time, and I mean, real estate was in front of me. I had few friends who were doing some kind of property management on a very small basis. And then after, I thought like, okay, well, I think I should pursue and I should search around something in real estate, what opportunities that can give me. So that's how I ended up in real estate.
All right. What were your biggest challenges in the early stages of your real estate career?
Sure. Initial challenges were, first of all, was language barrier. That was always there, and second one was the real estate system. I'm not too sure about the other countries, but in India, they have the real estate field working in totally different way. At that time, they did not have that kind of regulatory boards or that kind of regulations to regulate the real estate industry. So, lot many frauds were going on. Lot many system tactics were going on at that time. So that was another challenge, because after coming to Canada, if I want to work with real estate, I had to be very regulated. I had to be very regular. I had to be very punctual in schedule and all. And another challenge, like as I mentioned earlier, about the language barrier, specifically coming from Gujarati background, speaking everything in English here in Canada, like no matter where you go, that was a little bit challenging. Another thing was currency exchange rate. So mostly my client base at that time was mostly people who were coming from India. So they had that kind of mentality that one Canadian rupee equal one Canadian dollar equal to 60 Indian rupees. So that was another challenge, because like if I want to represent myself and want to sell one house to somebody worth like $200,000, it's literally like nothing, $200,000 right now. But at the time it was a big amount. So if somebody is gonna convert that $200,000 into Indian rupees, then they're gonna literally convert that amount and will come up with a 1.5 crore, 2 crore or something. So it's a big amount from them.
True.
So that's why it was little difficult for me to gain people's trust initially when I started working with real estate. But I had so many friends, I made so many relations here in Sudbury. I think I managed pretty well.
All right, let's be specific. So, if you have to say, what are the main pros and cons of a career in a real estate?
Honestly, I'll start with the pros. Obviously, the first pro will be like you can make lot of money. There is unlimited earning opportunity in real estate specifically. Like it is totally up to you. If you wanna earn more, you gotta work more. If you wanna earn more, you gotta sell more. So that is one of the best pros. Like there is unlimited, sky is the limit, I should be saying. So if somebody is that motivated and somebody wants to get that successful in real estate, they can. You can do 9 to 5. I'm not opposing 9 to 5, but I'm just saying that if you do 9 to 5 and if you do the real estate on side, you can compare what can get you more money. So that was again, that was one more point which motivated me to get into the real estate. And yeah, that is one of the best pros, that it has unlimited earning opportunity. Another one is time flexibility. So you are the boss of your own. So you can decide your schedule, you can set up your appointments, you can work for yourself. So that is another advantage. But success comes with the price, right? So there is another side of this career. So I should not be saying the cons, but you have to be that managerial about your money management, because it's totally the self-employment career. You get paid commission wise. So let's say some months you can earn lot much of a money, but some months you literally do not earn a single penny. If you don't sell, like obviously people's not gonna come and buy you from buy you every day, right? Real estate doesn't work that way. So some months you literally do not earn a single penny. So you have to be that calculator, you have to be that manager about your money management. Sometimes it can be very stressful because you have to maintain your time frame. You have to manage your finances as well. Let's say if you make like $10,000 in 1 month and you spend almost like $8,000, you literally end up to having only $2,000 next month. So that is another challenge.
All right. So, from both perspective and as per your experience, is real estate a good career choice for someone from overseas?
Yes, actually, for sure. Real estate, as I said, like real estate has unlimited opportunity. So, but people coming from outside of Canada, yes, they should be. I mean, I should not be saying they should be, but they can choose the real estate as their career because obviously, whoever comes in different country after leaving their families and everyone back home, they are coming with some kind of dreams in their eyes, right? And mostly their dreams they end up with money only. So real estate is that field that can help them to achieve that kind of dream which they are looking in this country. And another thing, it's time flexibility. If you talk about me, like I go to India almost every year.
Wow.
So like obviously you cannot miss your family, right? You have to focus about your family as well.
Very
So real estate gives that kind of time flexibility. So people coming from outside Canada, if you have that kind of time flexibility, you can spend that time in some productive ways, like focusing on family, have a good time with them. So yes, for sure.
Very true. So, how can someone start a career in real estate in Canada?
Sure. So to start a career in real estate, it doesn't need that kind of background. Like people like me, I did not have any real estate background except my father, right? But if you want to study in real estate, again, you do not have to have the real estate background in any of your studies. You can literally start from the scratch. There is a college named Humber College which is regulated by Ontario Real Estate Association. So if you want to be a real estate, if somebody wants to get the real estate license, they have to register themselves with Humber College. They have a program called Becoming a Real Estate Salesperson. So go there, register yourself, get the admission done, submit the documents, whatever they need. It does not. Again, I'm gonna put like weight on that statement. They do not need the PR. You can get the admission without having a permanent residence. So if you want to be a real estate agent, you can become even before you get your permanent residency. So yeah, back to the point. You can go on Humber College, get yourself registered, get the admission, and start studying. All the courses they are online. They have total 7 exams. Amongst them, they have 2 simulations and 5 theory based exams. But they are easy. I won't be saying they are easy, but if you are more focused and if you are committed to that particular field, you will feel very easy about the programs. So it's the process is very simple. Simply just register for the first course, complete the exam, register for the second, complete the exam, and complete all the 7 exams like this.
All right. Financially, how costly it is to get license like a realtor license?
It is honestly it costs somewhere around like $5,000 to $7,000 to sum up everything, all the 7 exams. But again, it depends on you. And that kind of cost it can be broken down in different payouts, to be honest. So for the first exam you have to pay $400, and then after for the first course you have to pay $400. You get the access to the course. Then after you register yourself for the exams, it's gonna cost you somewhere around $100. For the second course, again $700, and for the exam $100. If you keep repeating the exam, like they have multiple attempts to clear the exam, to crack the exam. If you fail in one exam, obviously that's gonna cost you another $100. So that's how you add up. But on an average, for average person, it's gonna cost somewhere around like $4,000 to $5,000 to finish up everything, and then after register with the real estate board.
All right. Now let's talk about Sudbury's real estate market. Is Sudbury's real estate market in a bubble right now, or when you're looking at a market, it is going to crash or boom in the next year?
Right. So honestly, Arjun bhai, if you're gonna ask the same question to any of the realtors involved, they gonna tell that real estate market is always booming.
Boom.
It never goes down. Doesn't matter even if it crashes. If you're gonna ask any realtor, they gonna tell that real estate is in a good spot. But specifically talking about Sudbury's market, like I came in 2016, right? But I have seen the growth, as I mentioned earlier. I have seen the like drastic growth in Sudbury's real estate. When I came here, the houses were selling at somewhere around like 200 or $300,000 worth. But the same house, if you're gonna go and buy in this kind of in this market in this at this time, it's gonna cost you somewhere like $500,000. So literally, in like what 4 or 5 years of time span, the real estate has gone up for almost like three to $400,000 up for the same house, right? So I mean, Sudbury they had another program named RNIP. If you are aware about, like it's a rural northern
Yeah.
immigration program. So specifically because of that program, Sudbury attracted so many people outside of Sudbury. Initially when I came here, there were not many job opportunities and not many, like companies were opening their businesses here. But since the RNP was launched and Sudbury was part of it, the Sudbury has seen so much of a growth. A lot many businesses are opening, like new businesses are opening in Sudbury, which we never heard of, like, and which we never thought that they're gonna open their location here in Sudbury. So as
Right.
Sudbury was the village at that time.
Wow. Okay, I want to listen your first experience. What was your first experience like working with a client as
Right.
a realtor? Do you have any unusual or funny stories from your early days in the business?
I do not have the funny stories, but I have a very good story to tell about my first real estate transaction. So one of my friend, his name is Sumit Khubani. He is from Mumbai, India. Initially, when he decided to buy the house, we both were studying in same program in project management. When I was studying, right? And after completion of our studies, after getting PR and all, he recently got married, and his wife was moving with him here in Sudbury. So he decided to buy the house. He had a pretty good background back home and all. So he decided to buy the house. And he asked me, like, Savya, what's the process? Initially, I literally did not do a single transaction in like what, 4 or 5 months after getting my real estate license. And Sumit called me, and that was my first call of my opportunity in real estate. So he called me. He was like, Savya, I know that you are working with real estate and all. I want your help to buy the real estate. And then after I started, I like it's an ongoing, like whatever I studied in course, like I was implementing a little bit of that in the realistic field. But it's an ongoing training. So as soon as we started our journey buying the home for him, I got to learn so many new things. Like the realtor who listed the property, he was very experienced and he was working with totally rookie agent. So I would say it was not difficult for me, but it was way too much difficult for him to cope up with me. So that was funny story. But after all these challenges, like we ended up buying a very good house. He lives on the Hawthorne Drive. It's a very famous drive, so that's why I wanted to mention the name. So yeah, it worked out, and after that, I never stopped.
Okay. Do you have more immigrant clients or the local people or Canadians in here?
Sure. Most likely, I won't be doing any discrimination or anything, but I have like almost like 90% client base from overseas, not from Canada, because whoever is original from Canada, they have their own group of circle and own group of people, because they've been living in the same city since so long, right? They will be living in so many other realtors in Sudbury since before I came here. So that's why obviously they're gonna trust them more. It doesn't mean like they don't trust me, but they have more good rapport with the other realtors, Canadian realtors, I should be saying. And immigrants, it's a very harsh word, so I would be saying people who are coming from overseas, they trust that they need somebody to, like, to work with them. As I said, I had the language barrier. Many other people, they would be having the same problem just like me, so they would need somebody who can speak their language, who can understand the language, who can understand their living standards, however they were living back home, whoever understands the value whatever they are bringing to the table. So that's why 90% my client base is from India, from Nepal, from Pakistan, and from Bangladesh as well.
So mostly from South Asian countries.
Correct.
Since you are the second licensed realtor here in Sudbury,
Right.
this is $1 million question, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What should newcomers consider before buying a house? Or let's say, what should first time home buyers in Sudbury be aware of?
Correct. If somebody comes and they would be telling that, okay, this is going to be my first home, I want to buy it. What factors should I keep that in mind? So my first question will be to them would be, do you have your PR? Do you have your permanent residency? The reason why I'll be asking this question is, if they do not have the Canadian citizenship or permanent residency, they have to pay the 20% of the house purchase. I mean, of the housing purchase price as in foreign national tax. It was not like that in Sudbury since 2021, if I'm not wrong. It was only in GTA area, but since 2021, it was implemented in all over Ontario. So if somebody wants to buy a house in anywhere in Ontario and they do not have PR or citizenship of Canada, they have to pay 20% extra as a foreign national tax of the house purchase price. That can be claimed back once you get your PR within 4 years of buying a house. That can be claimed back, but at that time of the purchase you have to pay. So that's gonna be my first and topmost question if somebody comes and asks to buy the house. Next question I would be asking them, that are you sure you want to settle in Sudbury? Because after coming from different countries to the totally new country, they do not have the surety that they're gonna stay in one particular city only, until unless they find the particular job in that particular city. So let's say if they buy the house this year and next year they're gonna find the job in Toronto or any of the cities in Ontario, what they gonna do with the house they bought, right? So they are stuck with the house. Yeah, if real estate goes up, yes, that's good for them. They can sell it for the higher price. But let's say if the real estate is not so busy in the coming years, then he will be stuck with the house which has less value what he purchased for. So that's gonna be my another question, that are you sure you wanna settle in Sudbury? And if the answer comes yes, then after I'm gonna ask them like what monthly expense you can afford every month. Because real estate, like we do not have, at least I do not have that kind of money that I can buy $400,000 worth house cash, like without any loan or anything, right?
Absolutely.
So obviously they will be having some kind of mortgage on the house. So I will be asking them that what monthly mortgage amount would you be able to put on the table to buy the house, to afford the house? Because if you get 400,000 or 500,000 worth house, that's an average price in Sudbury's house. You're gonna end up paying almost like $3,000 every month to sum up all the expenses. So they have to be capable to cope up that kind of expense every month. So that's going to be my third question. And the fourth question would be how much down payment you can bring to buy the house.
In the same question, in the same point, I'm going to ask you, how much money do I need to buy my first home in Canada?
Correct. So that changes from profile to profile actually.
Okay.
If somebody is having, if husband and wife, they both are working, they both are earning earning in a very good amount, then they can end up buying the first house for 5%. For first time home buyers, Canada has so many benefits. I mean, not that many, but at least like you can get $4,000 in land transfer tax rebate as a first time home buyer.
Oh, that's a government incentives kind of
Yes,
thing?
that's a
Okay.
government incentive kind of thing. And if you're first time home buyer, you have that chance to buy your first house at 5% of down payment. So let's say if you are buying, if you are looking to buy $500,000, then you can buy the house with $30,000, or $35,000 having in your account. 35 because obviously it is not 5%, but 5% of 500,000 it becomes 25,000. But there are so many other hidden costs like lawyer fees, title insurance fees and all. It adds up somewhere around like 1% of the house buying, purchase price. So $5,000 extra and $5,000 just for the extra expenses just in case. So to conclude, like if you have $30,000 to $35,000 in your account, you can go and buy the good house here in Sudbury.
So for newcomers to Sudbury, what does the process of buying a home here differ from other places in Canada? Anything like that?
Wherever you go in Ontario, it's the same process. It's the same process. It's the same house buying process. The regulatory board of whole Ontario is the same. It is called Ontario Real Estate Association. So they have made all the rules similar for all the cities. Yes, the house types and the housing market can be different from different city in different cities, but the process it's the same. Like mortgage, whatever you can get from CIBC in Sudbury, exactly the same thing you can get in Toronto or anywhere in Ontario. And for the Canada, if we talk about Canada, yes, the system's going to be different. Ontario Real Estate Association will be different. Then Alberta Real Estate Association will be different. All the provinces, they have their own regulatory boards.
So province to
Province to
it's-
province, it
yeah.
changes. Correct.
All right, I'm gonna again ask one more question about first-time home buyers in Sudbury. What are the three things you should absolutely not do while buying the first house?
The first one would be do not get that excited about buying a house. I mean, yes, you have to be motivated and excited about buying a house, but don't get overexcited. Yeah, I think that would be the correct word. Because, like, till now, we have rented the place for almost like $400, right? But then, after, if you go and look any kind of houses, obviously, you're gonna love that house because you were living in single room, right? So
Very
wherever
true.
you whatever house you're gonna go and check it out, you're gonna love that house. You would be telling your realtor that, okay, well, I want to buy this house, but don't do it. Just calm yourself little bit, just think about monthly expenses you can afford, and then after make the decision. That's going to be the first and the most important part, like for buying a house. Second one would be don't do the desperate buying. Let's say if I like some, like, particular property, and I legitimately like that property and I want to get that property, but I don't want to overpay for that property. If I overpay for the property, like let's say some property is worth for $300,000 in this market and I ended up paying $500,000, and I expect to earn a little bit of money from the property next year, then obviously it's not going to happen until unless the market goes very crazy, right? So do not overpay for any property, do not do the desperate buying, and do not get overexcited while buying the house. So those are three most not to do things
Not
in
to
my
do.
list.
All right. So, are there any specific neighborhoods in Sudbury you would recommend for families, retirees, or young professionals?
It changes. Sudbury is like they have very different areas for different kind of different kind of people. Let's say if I will be meeting somebody who wants to like buy their first house and they do not have a family, he or she is a single, like, and they want to buy their first house. I would be suggesting them to stay and stick in the New Sudbury area. New Sudbury because it is very nearby to Cambrian College and all other malls and all other big box stores, right? So if somebody buys the house in New Sudbury area, that would be very easy for them to find the tenants. Let's say if somebody is single, they only need one or two bedrooms for themselves or their parents. Keep one or two bedrooms for themselves, and rest of the rooms just put it on the rent. So if they decide to put it on the rent, New Sudbury is the spot for them because of the college and big box stores I mentioned. So for first time home buyers and for starting homes, I would be recommending New Sudbury area. People like growing family, whoever is having kid and they will be planning to move the kid in the school or something, I would be recommending them to south end area because three of the best schools in Sudbury are located in south end area.
Okay.
So that's why you will see like more family people will be living in south end
South End.
area. So those are two areas, and whoever doesn't have that kind of like area barrier or anything, and they are flexible with location, I would recommend them for Chelmsford, Azilda, or Henmer or Welker. Those are also good communities to live in.
So, how do immigrants and environmental factors, especially in Sudbury, like the winter weather, does that factor affect real estate market in Sudbury?
It does. That's actually a good question. It does affect a lot, specifically in winter, because in winter, most of the people in Sudbury, the winter is harsh, right? Since last 2 years, the winter's been nice to us. But initially, when I came here, it was crazy. Like we literally was getting like 50 centimeter of snow in 1 week or something. It was that crazy at that time. So obviously, during the snow and during the windy weathers, nobody would like to move in or move out from their house, right? So that's why people like not to sell the house, and that is one thing. And another thing, like let's say if we are getting snow and all, the house is covered with the snow, you definitely as a buyer you want to see the whole house, even the surrounding of the house as well. But if the house is covered with the snow, you literally cannot see the roof, you cannot see the foundation, you cannot see the full backyard, like what actually that house has. So that is one of the best reasons why the real estate market goes a little bit slower. I mean, yeah, a little bit slower during the winter, and in the summer it goes back up again, back up running again. So yeah, weather affects a lot in the real estate field. Yes.
What about immigrants factor? immigrants?
Immigrants, it's the same thing. Like, specifically during the winter, the month of November, December, January, or February, those are the months of the festival for the people who are coming from overseas. So let's talk about the Diwali, which we recently had, right? So in Diwali, so many people, they would like to go and celebrate Diwali with their families back home. So so many people, they travel back to India during that time span. There is one more festival called Uttarayan, like kite festival, which will be coming in January. So during that time as well, so many people. It's a marriage season as well in India. Like December, January is the marriage season, right? So many people, they go back home to get married, to attend their friends or families' wedding and all. So they go back, and they obviously they cannot purchase the house while they are away. They are out of the country, because they cannot focus in particular things. So they decide not to buy the house in that time frame. So that is another reason why real estate goes down, especially for the immigrants.
So, to the buyers, what type of properties would you recommend in Sudbury?
I would explain the same thing which I explained earlier. If you are looking to buy a house, if you are looking to buy your starting home, and if you are single, like you don't have like family living with you, then I would say buy an initial house, not that expensive and not that cheaper. Just the perfect house which you can simply just put on the rent.
That's
By
for
keeping
first-time home buyers.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. For initial, for like home buyers who are just starting their investment journey in real estate. For the family, I would recommend to buy something in South End area, or for like, or
Investors.
something whichever is ready to roll. I mean, you don't have to go in the house and do some kind of expense, because like while having a full family and doing those kind of construction renovation while living in the house, that can be a little more challenging and a little more difficult as well. So they definitely need something which is ready, which is turnkey in. So simply just turn the keys and get ready for you. So that is another thing. And for the investors, I would simply suggest them to buy any properties. Here in Canada, to do the renovation, it's not that costlier. So buy any cheap property, or maybe cost affordable property, get refurbished or redone, do some kind of renovation and put it on rent. If you are looking to build some kind of cash flow, just put it on rent, or just flip it. Let's say if you let's say buy $200,000 worth property, do 40 or $50,000 worth expense and sell it for $400,000. Here's profit for you. So that is proper. That is the investment properties for the investors. So different properties from different cluster of the buyers.
We have talked about buyers. Now let's talk about sellers.
Sure.
How can sellers make their homes more appealing to buyers in today's market?
Sure, it is very easy for the sellers. Just paint everything with the white color. That is the most easiest fix to make your house look brighter and make your house look freshly painted. That is like, that is seller for the sellers. Like, it's a very much like, cost efficient trick for the sellers. Another thing is, like, you can hire the staging company. Like, staging company, what they do is, like, they simply just rent the furniture for temporary base to the sellers, or to the home sellers, like whoever is selling the property. They simply just come and put their furniture for a while, let the photographer or let the other people who are looking to buy the house get some pictures and all, and then after, once the house is sold, they take their furniture back with them, and they put the same furniture in different house. So that way you can give the buyers that idea that, okay, like, we can be this room can be used as a dining table or living room or whatever it is. You can serve the purpose by hiring the staging company. Obviously, if the house is filled with the furniture, it's going to look nice compared to the house which has nothing in the house. So that is another approach for the sellers as well, to make their house look nicer and to get the more value of it.
All right. So, do realtors have any insider tips for spotting a home with hidden issues? Something like that?
Not like that. It's very transparent. In Canada, the real estate field is very transparent. Yes, realtors, they will be having hidden tips for the buyers and for the sellers as well, because of their experience. Yes, but honestly, whatever the buyers can see, we can see. Whatever the sellers can see, we can see. So there is nothing hidden in real estate field in Canada, because it is very much regulated from so many other regulatory bodies. So we cannot be that fishy about.
So let's talk about mortgage.
Sure.
Mortgage is the very essential part. while buying a house. Is it possible for newcomers to get mortgage through banks?
Yes, as I said, Canada they have a lot many incentives for the first time home buyers or other buyers as well. Talking about the mortgage as well, mortgage they have so many other factors which affect their mortgage affordability. Let's say amount of down payment. Always starts from the amount of down payment whatever you are paying. So they have so many other options like 5%, 10%, 15, 20, 35 as well. 30 if you pay 35%, you any bank can give you the mortgage. Like that means you are simply just buying the mortgage. That's what it calls. So 35% you put it on the table and the mortgage is there for you. Let's say if you're putting 5% down payment, obviously bank's gonna go into your profile a little bit in the deeper because they only have they only have the 5% as a security deposit from you. Whatever the down payment you are putting to the bank, bank is keeping them as a security deposit just to give you the mortgage. So if bank is giving you $1 million worth of the mortgage, $1 million worth of the loan, obviously they're gonna ask you to put extra amount of security deposit. Because let's say if you go bankrupt or if you say that okay, like I'm not gonna pay the mortgage anymore, then what banks gonna have? Like nothing. Only whatever you have paid, whatever comes at 5% or 10%, whatever you have paid as a security deposit, that's the only thing which bank will be having. So that's why if you are putting only 5% down payment, bank's gonna go little bit in the deeper in the profile. They're gonna check your job, they're gonna check the sustainability of the job. Like let's say if you are working on a contract base or if it's a permanent job, how many hours you are putting. Another would be the evaluation, the appreciation of the house, appraisal of the house. Let's say if you have bought 400,000 worth dollar, if you are apply for $400,000 worth loan to the bank, but bank they if they find out that the house which you have bought, it is not worth $400,000 worth, then they literally not gonna give you any money. They will be like, okay, if you foreclose anything, then we will be having nothing. So for the mortgage, job, down payment, the regulatory of the job, working hours, those many factors affect the most, and the credit score. Yes,
Credit
that's
score.
a main part.
All right, credit
So
history, income stability, and many different
correct.
things. All right. Almost at the end, I have this question in my mind. I'm sure many of our listeners they want to ask this question. What do real estate agents actually do, and what are the benefits of hiring a realtor?
Hiring a realtor, the first benefit will be you will be hiring somebody who can work in the best interest of you. Doesn't matter whether you are a seller or a buyer. If they hire a realtor, obviously realtor comes with the experience for sure. He has done lot many transactions. I'm not talking about me, but I'm talking about in general. Yeah, there are some realtors who have freshly started, but yes, they know the regulatory. They know how to write the offer. They know how to make some agreements. They know how to do the negotiation. That skill level can be vary people to people or person to person, yes, for sure. But hiring a realtor can help you to negotiate. He can help you to create the agreement. He can help you to be a medium between you and the sellers. He can represent you. Let's say if you are stuck with something, he can help you out because he has lot many other softwares which can give him extra information which as a buyer or seller.
But on the other hand, how to spot if an agent you can't trust?
It's totally luck based, to be honest. There are so many other greedy realtors out there. They will be only focusing on their commission check, right? Because everybody who doesn't need money, obviously everybody needs money, right? So yes, going with a trusted realtor is one of the most important part of buying house because the realtor you don't know if you go with him and if he's gonna tell you that obviously you hire a realtor because you do not know anything about the real estate. That is the
Sure.
reason why you hire the realtor. And let's say if somebody tells you that okay, this house is worth that much, you're gonna blindly trust him. Then you're gonna end up buying a house, and later on down the line somewhere you definitely gonna know that okay, this house whatever I have bought, it was not worth what I paid for it. So I mean, it is very important to get the trusted realtor, and obviously nobody has that kind of money to simply just bluff around. At least I do not have that kind of money, right? So hiring a trusted realtor, it is one of the most important part.
Why should someone choose you as their realtor?
Okay, Savya Swadia, because Savya Swadia is handsome. That's for one of the best best reason I would be giving. He's always smiling. He keeps the real estate in the real manner. So I have my tagline: keeping it real in real estate. So I have like more like a modern approach than traditional towards real estate. So yeah, Savya Swadia is here for you, and I have lived the student. I have lived the student life. I know the value of the money which we bring from our back home, and I know every single penny which we saved for down payment. So Savya is the guy for you.
Any message to the listeners or any message to the buyers, sellers, anything like that?
I will keep it very small. I have another tagline. The show must go on. So for the newcomers specifically, the show must go on. Never give up. Just have some time. Good things take some time. So have that patience and keep going.
Thank you so much, Sabyaji, for your time and for this wonderful insights.
Thank you so much, Arjun Bhai, for having me as your guest. Thank you so much.